For this video, I'd like to go over what all the buttons do. So I think we'll go with a desert this time. So drag a desert up and give it 100 source. Give it a name, buttons, create. So we have these. You can think of these as, so I have a bunch of land units. If I choose this one, it swaps out this for objects that I can place down. Hit this one, this is creatures that I can place. So let's go back to the objects. So we have sand tile, purple pavement tile, and gray pavement, bridge. These, even though they're in the ground tiles section, they can't be placed over nothing. They have to be placed onto something. So you can think of these four as your main tile types, and then these are sort of decorations, but more ground-like decorations than these decorations. Similarly, all of these, say this barrel, I can't place a barrel over dead space. I have to place it onto an existing ground tile. Let's go over what this number means. So this is how the total cost of units that you can place, and is a general idea of how much unit power is on the map. So let's go back to units. It goes left to right. So here's your weakest units up to your strongest units. Also notice, I'll go over in another video unit type selection, but these are white units, can be used by any color, and then these are purple specific units. So if I'm currently at 2 used, so there's a skeleton there. That skeleton is worth 2. Right there. That skeleton's worth 2. Let's choose a spider, and I'll watch how it goes from 2. I place a spider, now I've used 3. I've used 4, now I've used 5. Compare that with this big guy here. He costs 8, so it was at 5, I place 1, now I'm at 13. Place another one, 21. So there's a bunch of these. So we'll throw a bunch of 6s on here. Now there's no more. So I have, this costs 6.95, so I don't have enough to place another one. I could place, say, a shadow here, but now we're at 99. I can't place a shadow, so the only thing I have left available to me is one of these, unless I delete. So we'll place a bat. Now we're maxed out. If you want to delete, you can hit this delete button, and if I delete a tile, it's a very brute force delete. But if I start deleting, say, an item or a creature, and I start dragging, it only deletes items and creatures. So that's kind of a handy little trick, if you will. And that was this X button. That's your delete button. So let's get back to here. So now we have 0 creatures. Go back to this. So I guess as long as we're down here, so this deletes, it's just a toggle. This, take off toggle. This indicates the amount of tiles to affect. So if it's at 1, if I click on a piece of sand, it will create 1. If I click it again, now it's a little cross pattern. As soon as I click it, it creates this little hatch. And you can drag, and it creates that. On up to a 9 tile, do 9 at a time. You can really make a lot in a hurry. Similarly, you can delete just as quickly. So that's left side basically. We've kind of covered the bottom. What do these buttons do? The first one is play, so I can, if I hit that, I'm just play testing. This shard that I'm working on right now, it's not public online yet. Well, I mean, it's online, but it's not available to other people. It's only available to me until I publish. So I play my little map. Notice how I deleted my path to the end gate. So that's as much as I can do. Hit the back button. So that's what the play does. Zoom lets you zoom in, zoom out. It's just those two settings. This rotates. There's only when I play. Notice when I play, the camera is facing kind of down at an angle. In the editor, I can rotate around, but that doesn't affect. So now I'm upside down. Play some more. Let's fill the gap. As soon as I hit play, it doesn't matter what this rotation was at. It's going to always play at this fixed angle. Because of that, people make little stare optical illusions, various optical illusions, relying on the fact that the camera is facing one direction only. We'll get into that in a different video. So that's the play, zoom, rotate. This, it just toggles the grid lines. So if you want a better, these grid lines are only available in the editor. So if you want to see how it will look when people actually play it, you can toggle that. This one toggles, let me throw some walls up here. So if you have individual standalone walls, they look like this type of pillar. And these are specific to the desert. As soon as I put two of them next to each other, see how they become a group. So see what I mean by people relying on the camera being this angle. Anyway, you can't see behind here. When I play, let me play. I'll show you. So those pillars are kind of special. While you're in front of the pillar, they look like this. As soon as I walk away, let me just hang out here for a second, and they redraw themselves. But then as soon as I move, they disappear. So let's go back, and I'll now describe this toggle button. So if I want to be able to see what's back here in the editor only, I can toggle the pillars off so that I can see what is behind them. Save button. There's nothing to save because when I hit play, it auto saves. But let's say I want to add some of these pillars. Now I can save. It's a good idea to save, as with anything, in case the computer crashes for whatever reason. Save often. Undo, pretty self-explanatory. Redo, pretty self-explanatory. And this, it's not an undo, it jumps out. So the publish button, publish means, let me pause and I'll show you. So here's some of my shards that I've created. We can get into campaigns in a minute in another video. The campaigns are packs of shards, and as a naming convention, I like to give the campaign name. So this is For the King, 4 of 6. Anyway, these have been published. These in red have not been published. I'm working on them. I haven't published them yet. So the last one that you work on is always at the top of the list. And so that's what the published, unpublished. Other people can play and have played. 14 people have played this, and so on. So let's jump back in here. So that's what that publish button means. Watch what happens when I try to publish. It says you can't publish because you haven't proven to the game that you can get to the exit, basically. So if I hit play, and I can run, touch the exit. Now I can publish. As soon as I publish, it's public to the world. Now, when other people, so nobody's played it, people can comment on it, so on, so on, so on, so on. So let me go back in. I can unpublish and or destroy it. So if I unpublish, it just goes back to the unpublished state. So you have to be able to, you then have to go back in and hit publish. But if you just make one little change and save it, again, I can't publish now because I haven't touched the portal since a previous save. I guess as long as I'm showing buttons, I'll show what destroy does. So destroy, when I hit that really does, it deletes the shard forever. Now it's gone forever. So be careful with that one. All right, I think that'll do it for this video.